morning, everyone. I just want to start by saying thank you to CoMotion for holding these valuable summits in LA. All of those who traveled a long way to join us in Los Angeles especially, the entire delegation from the UK, Milan Deputy Mayor Pier Francesco Mairon, and our friends at Choose Paris Region and Transport Canada. The theme of this year's conference is Rewiring the City, Building Infrastructure, Boosting Innovation. And I think that's a good way to think about where we are as a city when it comes to our mobility. We need to rewire, not just literally as we transition to the electrified transportation future, but rewire our thinking. So we're not just talking about projects and policies, but rather the real and concrete reasons for the actions we're undertaking and the outcomes we want as a result. There are many ways to think about this, but let's start with one. This is a graph called warning stripes, based on the work of a scientist named Ed Hawkins. It shows the change in average temperature in Los Angeles over time, from 1878 to the modern era. As you can see, average temperatures in LA are rising rapidly. And though it doesn't show it, 2023 is on course to be the warmest year on record for the planet. The urgency of the climate crisis in Southern California and across the world is evident, and the transportation sector is the biggest producer of climate warning pollution. The climate crisis requires urgency of action. That's in part why we're moving so fast on our plans at Metro. It's apparent we are running out of time to address the climate crisis. And public transportation is one of the best tools we have to rapidly reduce our climate impact. We're in an interesting time here in Los Angeles. One of our major freeways is closed to downtown LA because of a major fire over the weekend that weakened its foundations. The reaction of this development shows just how much this city relies on cars for their transportation. Now, in response to the freeway closure, we are, of course, highlighting the robust options available to people in the area on Metro and other public transit agencies, and we and our partner agencies are adjusting service and frequency where we can. But the fact is that not enough people in Los Angeles currently take transit. And if we're serious about addressing the climate crisis, we need to rewire our thinking. In the 20th century, Los Angeles became famous the world over for its love of the car. And that affinity for automobiles was backed up with hundreds of billions in investment over decades to build thousands of lane miles of highways throughout our region. As a result, people believe that cars are more convenient for them than public transit, which frankly is true in many instances, owing to the way our city was built as a sprawling metropolis of suburbs. But that's changing, and changing quickly. Metro is in the midst of building $120 billion in projects over the next 40 years. Most of them transit. And some of the most impactful projects will open in just the next 5 years. With these openings comes a major opportunity to rewire the way we think about transit in LA and maximize its climate benefit. For example, in 2025, we'll begin opening the long-awaited D-Line subway extensions to West LA underneath Wilshire Boulevard. The D-Line extensions are 3 of 7 major transit projects that will open before the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Not to mention dozens of other smaller upgrades we'll make to our system to make it faster, more reliable, and easy to navigate. The D-Line subway will connect what we like to call the two downtowns of Los Angeles, downtown LA and Century City, which does not have any rail connections today. And get this, you'll be able to get from downtown LA to UCLA in just 30 minutes in 2028. That trip currently takes 90 minutes or more at rush hour today. Talk about a major upgrade. An improvement like this has the potential to rewire people's thinking. It gives them the ability to think about transit in LA, not just as something they take occasionally to help them get to and from concerts or special events, but something that can really improve their lives. I want to close today by highlighting a quick fact as we prepare for the Games in 2028. 1984, the last time LA hosted the Olympics, was the high water mark for transit in Los Angeles County. Nearly 500 million trips were taken that fiscal year on transit, growing 20% from 1983. We're about 2/3 of that level today. The Olympics catalyzed a major bounce in transit ridership for a few years in the 1980s. But then transit ridership in LA fell off in the 90s, and it didn't reach a similar level again until 2014, after we had opened 5 rail lines. We have momentum today to try and realize another major bump in transit ridership. Metro's ridership is now growing at a clip of about 10 to 15% year over year. Coming out of the pandemic, a lot changed in our commute patterns, but a change was also accelerated in our culture. There's a new appreciation of shared experiences, for going out together, enjoying each other's company. We fostered this on Metro with our Taylor Swift service in August. To welcome all the Swifties that attended the Eras Tour at SoFi Stadium, we deployed targeted and fun social media communications. We added surprise and delight opportunities by temporarily renaming a few of our stations, and we worked to ensure that our service was as seamless, safe, and intuitive as possible as we welcomed all these riders aboard. As a result, our rail ridership shot up 25% on the concert nights. This was practice for the Olympic and Paralympic Games. This is what we want to see, and this, along with the game-changing system upgrades we're making, is what will facilitate a big bounce in our ridership after the 2028 Games that will help us realize more of the climate benefits of our investments. We're very optimistic. We're excited for the next few years as we start to rewire the way that people think about transit in Los Angeles. Thank you for your enthusiasm for transit and mobility issues in Los Angeles. To John and his team at CoMotion, thank you for hosting this forum once again today, and I look forward to a wonderful conference. Go Metro.